Hi, it's Scarlett, and I'm here with the weeks one. This is gonna be a long one. Weeks 1 through 4. Oh my god, you can already see some of them. But I decided to kind of literally last second. I'm recording this at 12:44 a.m. But I decided. Actually, I'm gonna very quickly do this. I don't really care if you can see these because who gives a shit. But um, yeah. So decided to do this last second, literally right after recording my draft breakdown. Goal is to get this under about 20-30 minutes, and that should be doable for the first 3. I don't know about the last one just because that one's really recent, and I don't honestly remember this first match. I believe I know the outcome, but I don't remember it at all. So yeah, I mean, you could see the ones I brought. You could see my opponent's team. Uh, Things that stand out to me is Skeledirge kind of goes hard this matchup. There's not a lot standing in its way besides Gren and Gengar, but one Terra can obviously swap that. I also like Cyclozar because it covers those two, and I think it could do pretty well endgame. Chienpao is just kind of going to click a lot of things hard. Vax might be an issue, but that's why Pex and Zong are both here. This is a very bulky team in general. So the goal is kind of wear everything down and then have cleaners clean, which that being likely Cyclozar and Chien. So that's what this match is. We're just gonna go on fast because I need this to kind of go quick. So lead Skeledirge is really interesting. It's not obviously gonna do a lot to me, and then with one Torch Song I already can outpace it. And then a Terra Fairy, kind of premature. Also shout out to Kono's little brother, or twin brother, my bad. Kind of a premature Terra right there. I should have kind of waited out a little bit, but you live and learn. And plus, I have a pretty free switch into Assault Vest Cyclozar. You're gonna see this doesn't. This takes it very not well. This is Specs. This is very, very clearly Specs Gengar. I could go into Song though, set up a Reflect on the AV, and that's going to make it pretty easy to deal with them on like treads. Obviously I'm not taking too much, and Surf is going to do 33. That is max, I believe, special attack. Pex clicking a Surf, and if there was an AV, this is easily at 66. So I think at this spot you kind of have to switch, but he doesn't for some reason, so I'm just gonna click Surf again. I have no reason not to, and I can spin it any time, including this time. So if he wants to go hard Gengar, I can, kind of punish that with Pex. Pex is gonna be able to live 1, and Hex is not gonna do anything. So this kind of reveals that it's, something's up at least. And he gets a really good call out with that. I could have gone Rhydon, or did I? Had Rhydon me in, but I needed more recovery, so that is why that happened. And now I can get it back on this, and I could really do anything. I can U-turn, which is what I'm gonna elect to do, and I can get something like Donphan in, which is gonna be able to relatively tank the Earthquake pretty well. Rapid Spin comes out on his side, which is fine as long as I get mine off. Cool. I pretty much always 1v1 this, right? Because my Earthquake should kill. Yeah. So rocks can't go up, but neither can mine. So we're really kind of at a standstill. This is gonna live pretty easily, and Cyclozar is now in. And as you can see, getting walled. Flinch is kind of unfortunate here, because then you can go Gengar. But I can always sack Bronzong, and this gets Chienpao in for free. So I can really click any move. Like, obviously Tauros is going to take this not well. So crit doesn't matter. I guess he's locked in. Scarf maybe. But Earth Power is just gonna KO and on the board. On the board. Stays in with that, which is, I think is a crazy move. I can just slack off. That was max 5, right? Yeah. Which kind of reveals loaded dice, right? And gets 4 there. I can just Earth Power and whittle this thing down. I kind of banked on only 4 here, and I got the 4, and I can now recover it, and now we're in a comfortable-ish range, where if this gets 4, we're kind of fine, and it does get 4, so we can slack it all off. And I could just go hard pecs now, and this is at 50, it's chipped down very well, I can very much sack this, or I can bring in Dawnfan and sack that instead, and then force a switch in with Cyclozar and do some funny things like that. We're gonna get a cool poison. I don't think that matters too much. It's gonna get Abomasnow in some range of, I believe, an overheat, which he wasn't scared of. So that's great. I believe I can slack off here. It's pretty free. Yep. And I'm burning AV turns with this, so that is why that's kind of big. And I also burn some snow turns, and I also whittle this down. So the toxic thing that don't matter. I can Hex here, and I can just kind of let this go because Dirge kind of just wins from here. Obviously I can slack off, and I'm at full now, and this dies to an Earth Power, so it's only going to get 4, right? Yeah, and then this just KOs. So I'm in a really good spot, because obviously Gengar is going to come out, but I always go Cyclozar here. I knock off, and it is Specs, very clearly from the damage. This is going to die here, which is unfortunate, but Champao, I don't know why I didn't... Champao wins. Champao wins. This shouldn't have been a 1-0. This should have been a 2-0. Champao wins from here. So, yeah, that's week 1. Again, trying to go as quickly as possible here. It was a pretty solid matchup for me. Obviously, Bax was kind of scary, but I probably play with my food a little bit. This probably should have been 2 or 3-0, but that Gengar was very tricky to switch into, I felt like, especially with Specs. So I'm very lucky to have Cyclozar just kind of chilling right there. And getting some HP back and playing with Cyclozar. This is really where I started finding Cyclozar and really was like, holy shit, this is fun. Treads going down. He should not have sacked Treads that early, because playing without rocks is best case scenario 10 out of 10 times for this team. Especially when shit like Skeldurge, it doesn't want to take that 12%, especially when it Terra Fairy'd, which was early on, so yeah, it didn't want to take that 12%. Toxpex doesn't want to take that 12%. Even Cyclozar does not want to take that 12%. I'm pretty sure this is a boost, so that's why I'm not mentioning it, but they don't want to be taking that 12%. So overall, really nice. He kind of said, yeah, I messed up with the Terrifier, but you live and learn. He's probably predicting a Torch song coming out, but I know my abilities, so. Next we're versing Epic Mums here. But the biggest thing to know is this Hisuian Zoroark, which is staring me down. This is one I hate. I hate Zoroark because it is so hard to prep for and it's so hard to play against. Obviously when you have it, it's a ton of fun to use because mind games are so much fun, but I hate versing Hisuian Zoroark, so. Mini rant over. If you can get some damage on it, that's great, and that's why Bronzong is here, to set up the stealth rocks, and that's also why Dawnfan is here, to also assist in setting up stealth. I forget which one has it. One of these guys has it. This is a matchup where Palmot's kind of nice because it can beat really 3 of my guys pretty efficiently. Arcanine can intimidate, and it can kind of sit on Champao. And then Dragonite, if it's the right moveset, if it's like extreme speed and all that fun shit, again, can do a ton of fun shit. Toadscrew is really nice for setting up hazards, but it can also sit on Pex pretty well, and it can, I believe, 1v1 Dawnfan. Unless this is, you know, not Ice Spinner and AV and all that fun shit. I already hate Hisuian Zoroark, and then King Gamut's kind of a weird bring. I guess it's kind of like maybe an ace for this team, so it kind of has to come, but gets 1v1 by Breloom, and I believe this is Terra Stabs or something, or Terra Any maybe, but what that means is it can really kind of fuck with my team a bit. If it's not, I'm saying if it's not, like I haven't played this game, but I really don't remember. I think I know the outcome, but I'm not sure. But if it's not, Breloom has Mach Punch, I know that for sure. Skeledirge, I believe, does beat this if I do remember my set correct, and this is Terra Dark or Terra Fairy, or not Terra Fairy. If this is Terra Dark, and I remember my set correct, this also 1v1s, this 1v1s, and Chienpao clicks the Secret Sword and it's donezo. So it's kind of a weird matchup for it. I see why it was brought, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting to be brought in this matchup. So let's go ahead. So Toadscroll Bronzong lead. Arcanine comes out. I can get my rocks up. That is literally all I wanted to do. Donphan, I don't. At the time, I didn't really care that this was burned, but I think late game, I think I'd rather this be healthy. So I just wanted to note that. But at the time, I was fine with this. I can really Ice Spinner here, I believe. Oh no, I just rest. I just got rid of it. Bye. But I think I had Sleep Talk too. Sleep Talk, Earthquake, Ice Spinner or something, or Body Press, or I forget. Spore, kind of unfortunate. I think I technically could have called Sleep Claws, but I don't like that. I think that's really stupid that you could put 2 months to sleep and be like, oh, Sleep Claws, that is Sleep Claws. I don't think that's how it works, and I choose not to believe it. So Breloom always switches in super well to Toadscroll, because Spore switching and all that, it probably should have came out, honestly, versus this. But I'm smart. I'm a smart player. So it's a Jetpack Leaf Storm, which is such a good bring, and it just calls out my switch so perfectly. This reveals Roost Fire Punch, which is really interesting, because I think you can kind of see where this might be going with like a Terra Fire route, which I think is really interesting against my team, especially if Bronzong is heat proof. I don't think it was this week, but that's just really interesting. So this comes in, which is obviously going to take standard Stealth Rock damage for Kingambit, so this reveals it's Kingambit. And Infestation traps it with me. So this is going to be taking some chip, which is really nice for a Breloom endgame scenario. And this is going to take it good enough to where this is going to do a ton of damage. And this isn't leftovers or anything. So Chienpao can switch in for free, and it just picks up the KO. I'm fine with taking all that damage. It's going to U-turn, it's going to do a ton, and Arcanine's going to come in and get the Intimidate. Crunch is going to whittle it down, but it's Rocky Helmet. So that was a really good bring by my opponent. I really wish I brought, and this is also not heavy duty boots, which I confused. But that was really good because Chienpao had Chienpao won from here, and me letting it go that early really was a bad play. That was a blunder by me. Really costly blunder. I don't remember if I won this match or not, but that's a blunder. That's a really bad play for me, letting it. I should have. I knew by the way this was Zoroark, but I did the calcs and I was like, this. I'm not too scared. If it's Scarf, but it doesn't kill me. I should have switched anyway. I still should have went, I guess Pex or really anything, because that was just bad play. That was just a really bad play. He brings in the Dragonite back in, not the Zoroark, the Dragonite, which tells me that this is the thing, which is really interesting again. But yeah, from here I can kind of wait some turns out. Oh no, wait, it actually it is. I didn't read the Stealth Rock damage. but it is, and I can literally just Terra Dark, which walls this pretty well. And it's already revealed Scarf, so again, I get another sleep turn to clear. So, literally, as long as I wake up and click Slack Off, which I do, and I actually just Torch Song, because why the fuck not? But now I get a free ass Slack Off into a Torch Song. So, you're gonna see Slack Off. I'm just gonna go to, actually no, I'm not, unless I slacked off again. But no, yeah, I just, Envy, I didn't even realize, are these all like named after, nope, just Zorak. I slack off here on a unfortunate rapid spin coming out, but I couldn't really do much about it, so now this lives, and then this happens, like the Willow, okay, I think I missed, oh no, it did hit, but Willow, the Terrifier is a good play. But this is unaware. I'm never running Blaze on Skeletors. This will always be unaware. And it D-Dance. Not once. Or no, I'm pretty sure D-Dance twice. Oh no. Okay, that's later. That is the, okay, I'm remembering this match, as you can tell. But literally it just gives up Arcanine, which is like, cool, sick. Palma comes in, I get scared, so I just go back out to Donphan. Because I could take it pretty well. All I need to do here is, and this is Rocky Helmet, I don't know how if someone hit me or what, but literally, all I need to do here is pull Earthquake or Body Press, I believe. Let's see what I pull. Rest. Sleep Talk. Rest. That's the first one. And now, this is going to do a crap ton. I already know that. It's Fallen 4. So I already know this is going to do a ton. And then, so yeah, and then the next time I'm going to wake up, but at that point, it's too late. I'm going to have to sack it. So I'm going to really need a Body Press or an Earthquake to come out. Because that KOs. I live, and I pull Rest again. So, I was pretty infuriated, but at this point, it's pretty much over. Mach Punch 2-hit KOs, and it's not going to do enough back to me. This is pretty obvious banded, I'm pretty sure. But I can go back to Dirge, who walls this, because he D-dances twice. He did it again. Like, I do not get it if he looked at the calcs or something, or what. But he did it again. So I Torch Song, like a normal player. And Fire Punch doesn't do anything, so I slack off, of course. Fire Punch again, doesn't do anything. I get my second Torch Song so that I can start breaking Roost. I believe I Shadow Ball. No, I slack off. I'm smart. Fire Punch comes out. Shadow Ball, gonna do a crap ton. If I get one drop, it's kind of over because it's 2-hit KO'd. Doesn't even bother roosting. Gets the burn, which is kind of funny. But I get the roll, so it doesn't matter. Then King Gamut comes out, and I can pretty much just stall this. I have Will-O-Wisp, but I've already revealed it. So I figured I would just first off slack off, get some damage back just in case. But then I just Willow. And from here it's GG's. I'm pretty sure this is locked into something. If it's, I think it's banded, or yeah, I'm pretty sure this is banded. This is definitely banded. So it's locked in, and we get the 4-0 win. With Queen Taylor picking up, I believe, 5 kills in this match, which is insane for Queen Taylor. But she kills. She literally kills. What did I say at the first? She slays. She fucking slays. Yas, Queen. God, kill me. Oh my god, erase me from this planet. Alright, week 3. Week 3, we have a Sun team. I was very scared of Terra, Fire, / Flying, Charizard, because that thing is a fucking menace and it could murk my team in the Sun. Doesn't come, which kind of sucks because I over-prep for it in my opinion. You see Tatsugiri, which was Assault Vested for it. So this is kind of an interesting match. Definitely still winnable, but There's a lot of interesting things, especially this Glamora, which could be a lead, which is always what I prep for, which is why I led Dawnfan to kind of, hit that. But I could kind of go Espeon and block Rocks or block Wisp, so I do that. I just Baton Pass. Again, Baton Pass is legal as long as you don't pass stats and subs and wishes, or not wishes, subs and I think ingrains and shit like that. As long as you don't pass that shit, you're fine. So from here, I believe I was my fun peck set. Yeah, my fun peck set. And this obviously is toxic, or not toxic. This is corrosion, because that would have activated the T spikes. So in my head, I think I figured that Dawnfan was pretty free from this spot. Or Espeon, same thing. Because Espeon 2-hit KOs or puts in a range and shit. So Psyshock is gonna do a ton, and I believe if I was both, and I think that was a call out. That was a mid ground or whatever the term is. But I can go back to Toxapex here on a wish, and I can go back to Fan. I was predicting Pex to come back out because, why not? And this comes in, and this is a big threat because one of my team deals with this shit. Espeon. Espeon can't switch in. I have no switch-ins besides Dawnfan. So Dawnfan's kind of gonna have to be there. Someone comments as swapping, which I love these matchups when you get a ton of swapping because there's tons of predictions coming out. So this is a really fun matchup to play. I definitely remember playing this. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, Drain Punch. I kind of wish I was bulkier or vest, or I don't know. I'm just spewing shit. Good Earthquake. This is really good mid ground, and I'm kind of forced to sack. I was kind of forced to sack. I don't want to go Tatsugiri because Tatsugiri is really important in this matchup. It deals with it deals with Glamora, but I think looking and kind of Torkoal and not really Vaporeon. Looking back, I probably should have just sacked Tatsugiri, cut my losses with Tatsugiri. But you live and learn, and this is so clearly a Soul Vest. So yeah, that's that. But if I do sack this, I also now get Espeon, which clicks Psyshock. Or I guess Dirge, and I can get a free Yawn. And again, good name. I appreciate that. But I can kind of call out a switch there. I went that to kind of call it out. Best case scenario is like a fake out or Drain Punch. Drain Punch comes out, and now we kind of only have one switch left. We have to make this play right, so Psyshock comes out. Protect is pretty obvious, and I figure I remember this because I had Gleam, and I was so desperately wanting to click Gleam, and I clicked Psyshock, and I was so mad. Because that definitely, if I get rid of this, there's no threat in the back that I really have to worry about. So that's really infuriating because I figured that was going to be the switch in, but I went against my gut, and that costed me Dawnfan, which isn't the best this matchup, but it could definitely find ways to pick up some damage, whether it be against Torkoal or whatnot. But whatever, this is banded, I believe, Chiampao. So Ice Shard is a KO. It's a guaranteed KO, I believe. So Torkoal comes out, and it's gonna take, I believe, like, oh my god, nothing. Oh, this is Life Orb, my bad. Yeah, Life Orb is guaranteed KO. So yeah, Lava Plume comes out, not gonna do a lot. I can Yawn here on something. Rocks come out, which is unfortunate for Chien, which is gonna take a ton. Earth Power doesn't even KO. So this can just wish up for free now. I think it protects on my spin. I think I got a little paranoid. So I just Dragon Pulse and get a fucking awesome crit. And then I think I spun again. Just spin again, like good old blunder. But I finally can spin these away. And I wall this because, assuming that its last move is like Surf, like I said, I wall it. I completely wall it. Draco is only doing 53. Definitely 100%, whatever it's called. but we got it really low, which is good for Espeon. He ends up trying to sack this. And, like, that's now 2 times where he tried well, not tried sacking, but one where I had the prediction, and then the other where he was sacking, and I just didn't realize. I should have just taken the revenge. I was so nervous. I was too nervous. I think I went this. I don't even know why I went this, because this isn't a good. I think I was just trying to baton pass on like a call out to Rory Moon or something, or calling out a switch in general. So I'm kind of now forced to. I'm in a really, really tricky spot now. And I was forced to her as well. And this could just start dragon dancing. I don't. I mean, I have Yawn, which is cool, but it's not. Like, it forces a switch. Great, and I had to get that switch right. So luckily I got Chien-Pao right, because now I get a free KO. There's no way this stays in, and if it does, it's taking a crunch. And it does stay in, and it just absolutely dies. This dies to a crunch. This dies to a crunch. This doesn't, but it dies to Ice Shard. This gets, I believe it gets KO'd. And then Glamour is the only one that lives. So Torkoal comes out, and I think I was like, great. That crit, you're gonna say, my dumbass. I don't think that mattered, but sorry, nonetheless. And I am adamant, because that's why I fucking said that. So he's like, are you adamant? Yes, and it doesn't. And then I have to be the dumbass and be like, oh, I don't know then. I'm very clearly, very, very clearly adamant. At this point, this game is still very winnable. I have to play it insanely good, and I have to make a ton of callouts, but this game is very winnable. I just need to take, I think, 70% or so. Under 80%, I think, was a KO. So I just need to chip it down. So I have to, what I had to do, because I remember this now very well, I had to go and sack Espeon there, because he gets a free switch in now, and he clicks Gleam, which is a great mid ground that I just didn't. I thought this was just gonna very clearly go for a rock type move, and even if it did, like, I very clearly threw the match at that point, because what this allows is Espeon to come in. Right, this dies, and then Espeon comes in, and then what, Roaring Moon comes out now, but the big thing is it recovers, and now it's back at full. So it forces this back in, right? And it's like, oh, what, whatever. I power gem there, just I don't know why. I was just on something. Psychic Shell Smash is fine, obviously, because I don't care. Chien-Pao can come in and do some damage and all that fun shit, but the Glamour is gonna come back in, and I don't have Psychic Fangs. If I had Psychic Fangs, I would have clicked Psychic Fangs. But as you can see, 84%. If I got this under 80, it would have been great. But I didn't. So because of that, I don't get the right roll, and this wins again. If I have Psychic Fangs, this isn't. Obviously, I'm clicking Psychic Fangs. It was literally a move pull away. I believe this is Ice Shard, Crunch, Sucker, or maybe not Sucker, but Sacred Sword, and Spinner. So, unfortunate loss here. This is week 3, so we're 2-1, and I think we are +3. 2-1 +3, right? Because this is 4, 5, and then -2. So yeah, +3. Very unfortunate. We're literally, again, one move slot away from being 3-0 +6, but you kind of take your losses. Again, a lot of fun playing, because I think we both played very well. I think I misplayed twice. I definitely, like, 2 glaring misplays. And there are definitely other spots where I didn't play well, but Two very, very glaring misplays. But that brings us to week 4, which is the most recent match, and one played a couple hours ago. And this is an interesting match. I'm actually coming off of a week where, in another league where I was 0-3 and I needed was I 0? Yeah, I was 0-3 and I needed a desperate win, and I barely clutched it out. And that was just an insane match, and the after effects were crazy. And this match, I didn't really have to win. Obviously, if I win, that's huge. It's insane for me. But this isn't a must-win game. Every game to me is must-win, but this didn't feel like, oh, if I win, whatever. There's a ton of shit to prefer for this team that you can't currently see. And I think I deleted the actual thing. But and if I go to the league, you're gonna where is it? This one. You're gonna see standings. You're gonna end up seeing standings. So I don't want to go there. But what I can do is I have pretty solid memory. So he has all these mods, right? This is also a Shadow Tag. So he has Shadow Tag. He has Iron Moth, which is insanely good special. He has Great Tusk, which is insanely good physical. So he has both of those. Quillfish, which you know, kind of seems like a weird pick. But then you don't see this. He has these two as well. You don't see this. He has Rain. He has Pelipper and Float Soul as well. He has that in the back, just kind of sitting there off to the side. So it forms great synergy with Quillfish. And then, just to add on to all that, he also has fucking Espathra. Goddamn Espathra in the back, just kind of sitting there as well. It gets speed boosts, so don't worry about it not getting speed boosts. It gets speed boosts. And then, we're not done. We are not done, because there is another one I have to know. Earthworm. Because Earth Eater, to me, was so threatening that I couldn't run Dawnfan. I just couldn't. I would have probably ran Dawnfan this matchup, but I just could not. And the other mon that was there was Electros, which doesn't have a ground weakness. And that was a mon I was frightened of, so I'm very glad it did not come, all things considered. But I told you guys to remember the Oricorio thing in the draft breakdown. Oricorio was allowed anything, and I'm very quickly going to just pause this so I can get you to here. I said have fun. Hold on, you have Pom Pom, because the other one's just regular Oricorio, this one's Pom Pom, and then there's also two others, which is the Ghost and the Psychic one. And I said I thought I have all Oricorio forms, because this was the only one. They only listed one Oricorio. So you kinda have to assume that you get all of them, which to me is very stupid, but we're just gonna play by how the league works, I guess. And then I said I could change the fire if that's not the case, because that's the one that's listed. And I mean, if this was any other, if he brought Rain, I would have been really pissed if he said that, but he didn't bring Rain, so I was pretty fine with just adjusting it. I still match up against Tusk very well. Moth is actually probably more my favorite because Fiery Dance is resisted, and I could just Quiver Dance on it, and I'm fine. And it honestly might be better, because then Brute Bonnet becomes a better matchup. Reverum becomes a better matchup, and then the only bad matchup is Quillfish. Like, literally, it might have been better if I was. But he says not sure. I don't think so. So I was like, fuck it. I'm bringing up the rules on this one. Oricorio, NDD, Oinkaloing, or whatever, Squawkability, or Squawkabilly, and Toxicity grants access to all forms. However, only one may be used in battle, which is fine, whatever. I only have one, so yeah. And I brought up this strategy. And he's like, wow, that is crazy. Busted, but okay. And I'm like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? But yeah, in my team building notes, I have as one of my leads, just bring out your threat. Bring out literally whatever just does damage. So I'm like, alright, I'll just bring Shampoo out. And he brings Reverum, and he brings Reverum out. And I'm just like, That's not too hilarious. I'm not laughing at this one, because if this is Scarf, I am very scared. I'm very threatened by it. And judging by its first move, I actually did think it was Scarf. Because who parting shots? Who parting shots on Chiempao? Like, this is your, like, that's such a wild move to me. But, okay. So, I think it's Scarf at first. Also, I just remembered I literally recorded me doing this, but I mean, at this point, it might as well finish it, right? It might as well finish the act off. It's gonna parting shot, and that doesn't matter to me, because I'm fucking Skeledirge. Like, who gives a shit? Iron Moth is gonna come out, and again, I'm like, who gives a shit? I 1v1 this. Literally does no damage to me. Like, and then Earth Power is gonna... So now, guess what? We are locked into a recovery war, because I have leftovers on this set. And my roll is, I believe, 49.53 or 53.48 or something like that. So, this is 1v1able. And right here, it makes a really good double. To Brute, I actually don't have Fire type moves, so I don't really 1v1 this too well. But I can Terra into a different type to maybe get rid of that Dark weakness. But I should have just went hard Breloom. Sorry. Breloom's just so well. Breloom has such a good matchup. Obviously Earth Power from last turn. No item that we know of. I Willow here because I figure that I might as well minimize the most damage I can. But that's a mistake because Spore instantly comes out and I'm just like, kind of, what the fuck do I do? I go hard, or I didn't go hard Breloom. I went hard Toxapex. Which is definitely a play. Definitely a play of all time. And I end up losing Toxapex immediately, which fucks me over. Really good call out by them. I think my reasoning behind Toxapex was also calling out a Reverum double. I believe it was either a Reverum or a Quillfish double, not the Gothitelle. Or no, it was Iron Moth. It was definitely Iron Moth. I was calling out an Iron Moth double onto Breloom. Obviously, he called out the Breloom double, and I switched into the one thing that deals with it. So that was a bad play. That was a really, really bad play. I probably should have went Zong, which has an eject button, and can get me out of that situation and get me into Chiempao, which clicks any move and it's over. So bad play by me. Bad play by me. I'm kind of forced into the stalemate. I believe I'm in Assault Vest, so I'm fine here. I'm gonna do a ton of chip because Infestation's gonna do a ton. Psychic's gonna hit. I should have just Sludge Bombed here, or Surfed, or anything else, but I decided to Acid Spray just in case I want to bring in something like Dirge again. But I'm gonna end up dying here, and I can just bring in Chiempao. Like, I should have just Sludge Bomb there, and then I don't know. But we have a really, really good Chiempao answer with Quillfish. So I kinda am forced to go Breloom. We're gonna see some hazard stacking here, which is really good against Chiempao. I really hate that it is good against Chiempao, but it is. I didn't bring any removal this matchup, which kind of unfortunate. Limits Chiempao's moves, but it's banded, so literally if it gets out, it's gonna do a ton of damage. So I'm fine. Or it's never Melt Ice. Makes a really good double into to get rid of Spore. I can just Drain Punch here. I think he over predicted a little too much. I think maybe he was trying to predict another Spore. I figured this was Filter, but it's actually Overcoat, which is really good for Breloom. That was a really, really good prep. But Drain Punch is still doing this. I should have Drain Punched here, and this game would have been over very quickly. But I tried going for a Spore, which was a bad play by me. I should have figured it was Overcoat, but I can go straight into this. I figured it was Scarf. I just figured it was Scarf because who stays in on Chiempao? Banded Chiempao. I mean, obviously you don't know. It's not banded. I should stop saying banded Chiempao. Who stays in on Chiempao with fucking Rever? to me, that's a KO. So I figured they would switch, and then they don't, and they fucking parting shot and don't iron head or something. So to me, that is very clearly Scarf. So taunt coming out was a complete surprise because I was gonna get rocks up here, and suddenly like put Tell in a ton of range and chip down shit. I can just Nightshade here though. I figured getting damage on something was good, especially if it's Moth, because now it's forced to recover, which gives me a free Chien-Pao switch in. Wow, what a shock. And this gives me a free Crunch. Again, what a surprise. Also, that's a crazy roll. 32 I think is really crazy, because I think the other one was 26 or something. But yeah, I can go back to Brongsong here. I figured that, you know, it's just gonna spike stack. Maybe it's gonna like waterfall or something. This also has taunt. That has 2 mons with taunt. 2 mons with taunt. And I'm just like, great. I'm just gonna get rid of you. I don't like you anymore. So I just psychic there. I think that was the right play. Maybe, or no, actually, yeah, no. Hard Oricorio is a bad play. For multitudes of reasons. But we could literally just psychic here. And at this point, I'm actually fine with staying in here. Because if I go Dirge, I think if I go Dirge, I think I literally lose the game from where I'm at. But I want to stay in. I wish I was heat proof. I guess if I was heat proof, I wouldn't take the spikes damage. But Fiery Dance is gonna come off, and it's gonna get the boost, which is fine. But I can bring back Chien-Pao, which guess what he clicks? You would assume a free Crunch, right? You would assume. I think I did end up clicking Crunch. Yeah, I clicked Crunched anyways. Gets the defense drop, which doesn't matter. Sucker Punch does nothing because burned and stab, and I think I had really good HP investment. So again, this seems to be only Gunk Shot. It seems to be only Gunk Shot. So I figured I could kind of stay in. Psychic's gonna do a bit of damage. I figured to sack this because again, Chien-Pao comes in for free. This mon just I don't understand. Like, I think my opponent prepped insanely well for this match. I think Overcoat was really good bring. I think Spore was really nice, and I think Spike Stacks was insanely good. And you're gonna see some other cool prep from this team. But the one thing they did not prep for well at all was Chien-Pao. Because Chien-Pao, you might think I crunch, right? Because crunch is insanely free as well. But I'm at a point where, first off, I calc this and Ice Spinner is a KO. Second off, if I Ice Spinner on Reverum, Crunch KOs the next turn. Third, Ice Spinner KOs Gothitelle. And fourth, Ice Spinner will KO Great Tusk. So boom, that's gone too. And this was especially scary because Scarf obviously outspeeds me, or I would assume at least it would outspeed. So getting that call out is insanely nice because I don't have to worry about it. I could have maybe went Oricorio there, and actually I think I probably should have went Oricorio there because then I probably win, and differential matters. So, but at this point it becomes literally a sack war. Reverum can do some shit. It can parting shot here, but it decides to just gunk shot. And I go Breloom, figuring that it would parting shot just because I need some momentum back. And I always sack Breloom here because, say it with me, Chien-Pao comes in for free. So right here, what we're gonna see is Gothitelle getting sacked, which is great. That's awesome. And at this point, I can sack Chien-Pao now. Great. Thief. Awesome. But now I can go Oricorio and set up and win this game, and I'm feeling great. You know, Revolution Dance is gonna do 25% is crazy. It's gonna do 25%. I can start quivering. Morning Sun again. You know, unfortunate, but that's whatever. I mean, I could just whirlwind. Crazy prep, really good prep, and I mean, that's just great prep. Fiery Dance, if it picks up the boost, insane. But, I mean, now this just wins because Dancer and, yeah. This has Sludge Wave. It has Sludge Wave. And it just doesn't want to use it. Doesn't want to use it. So we get a sad and slow end. If I get crit, obviously that sucks, but it's just such a sad way to go, man. Just a sad way. I don't want to comment on this because when you make plays like that, when you play like that, there's no excuse. I don't think there's any excuse. And I think up until this point, I think they were playing a hell of a game. I thought the prep was insane. I think in my opinion, the only bad play, and it was like, you could put this in quotes, is the Great Tusk switch, the Reverum to Great Tusk, because that's such a, or I forget who it was, but that's such a tough play to get right, especially when I've been crunching the whole game. You just figure a crunch is coming out. So that's a tough play to make, so I'm not even saying that that's a wrong play. But not Sludge Waving against Oro freaking Choreo and going for those crits, instead going with Fiery Dance and maybe it was just giving up at this point, but those boosts, that one boost I believe, really makes a difference. Because it's a KO, and now this game's over. So I think it's really, and you're gonna see the fallout. You're gonna see the fallout, because I think it's very important. I'm gonna obviously say GG's, because, I mean, it's a good game. I thought it was a really good game up until the Fiery Dance lapse, I guess. But this, you can't see it, but I literally lost because you got multiple types. Like, I said in the beginning, it was a huge advantage if I was Aurora Choreo Pom Pom and you didn't bring Rain, because because literally Iron Moth can 1v1 now. It arguably can 1v1. It does it better, at least, if you're gonna spam Fiery Dance and try to get boost and then Sludge Wave. It 1v1's insanely better. So I don't get this argument. I don't get this argument, and I literally broke down in the beginning that the fire type version is actually worse against them because it has better matchups. It has better raw matchups against everything, and it can set up on more things. So that's one. Two, you lost because you didn't prep for Chien-Pao. Chien-Pao, on average, shouldn't be coming in and clicking a move and getting a KO. It should be clicking a move, and again, you know, forcing a Quillfish to come in and whatnot. Quillfish was cool. It was cool, but it did nothing against Chien-Pao. You brought it in to get the Intimidate and force a switch in. If I wanted to, if I was SD and I Sword Dance one, and I Swords Dance once, which was my original set again. This was my original set, was Swords Dance, Crunch, Ice Spinner, Sucker Punch. That was my original set. And then some wacky EV spread to give me some more defense and HP. That was my EV spread at first. So that's not a good Chien-Pao answer. You're gonna have to try a little bit harder than that. But that's one. Or that's two, I guess. And then three. I mean, Chien-Pao's the big one. Chien-Pao, no, that's really it. There's two things you lost to. There's really two things you lost to. And then you prepped it very well. You just didn't prep very well for Champao. You prep well for everyone else but Champao, and arguably Oricorio Red Fire version. Um, and then, bro, I resist Revolution Dance. What are you talking about? Obviously you can't see it, and you have no way of knowing this, so that's not why I'm faulting you, but to think I'm only running Quiver Dance, Revolution Dance, Roost, and then Protect, to think that that's my moveset is insane, because there's a whole fucking Great Tusk that would wall me then. Why would I run that? So, I'm gonna run Air Slash. Hurricane's obviously a move. I don't like miss moves. Whenever I get a chance to use Tornadoes, I will be using Bleakwood Storm because it hits more consistently. I'm sorry, that's just how I'm programmed. That's how the Matrix made me. That's just what I use. And you know, this was Never Melt Ice. I believe one of the other mons, there were 2 mons with shit like that. I think it was Breloom with or no, Breloom had loaded dice. So 2 mons had move boosting shit. And this was Never Melt Ice for Ice Spinner for exactly that scenario. Air Slash would be the same base power as Revolution Dance. I did the math too. I looked it up. I don't think I still have the thing, but I'm sorry about that. I keep hitting my mic. With Sharp Beaks, it's the same thing. Obviously, 95% is a real thing, or 90% or whatever the fucking thing is. It's a real thing, and it happens, and it sucks, but it's consistent. It's very, very consistent. So it doesn't end up mattering. This matchup is still a win, because then not only okay, Revolution Dance is resisted. Cool, sick. Guess what? I'm just going to Air Slash, and then guess what? 30% flinch. Do you really want a 30% flinch? Do you want that over Revolution Dance being not resisted? I don't think you do, because then you're gonna blame hacks, and I don't think you want that on your soul. So I think you should be glad with with this Oricorio coming out. And this is another thing. Be better is very toxic, and I'm sorry I phrased it like that. I was just very upset because, I mean, there's a lot of emotion. From his point of view, I mean, he told me he's literally not having a great time right now in life, which I completely understand. And I'm very sorry, and I think it's very unfortunate for him. And he said that after this match, he's considering dropping from the league just because it's a lot. And I hope he's doing better. I hope he does better in life, because it's just, you know, we've all been there. I just, you know, I think it's very common courtesy. I want people to be doing well, you know, and all that. So this is very toxic. This comes off very toxic, and I'm sorry about that. But this, I completely, you should have read the rules. You you can't blame, oh, you got multiple types because you didn't read the rules. That's like, I don't know, that's like, that's like, well, I mean, I guess this doesn't make sense because you died, but that's like being like, oh, I drowned because, you know, how was I supposed to know where the life jackets were? Like, or I didn't get the boat, like, I didn't get to go on a boat, so I literally freeze to death in the water, like Titanic. Like, bro, you should have got on the boat. You should have, you know, listened to the people saying it. And I know there was like other shit, but like, can you stick with me? Stick with me on that. But yeah, you just should have read the rules in the same way that you should read rules. I think everybody, as someone who, when it happened to me where the doc wasn't updated, because guess what? People are fucking humans. Like, the people who make docs have lives. They don't just do that. Because that would be insane, and that would be crazy. People make mistakes because they are focused on other shit. This shouldn't be your most important thing. If it is, great for you, whatever, but most people aren't wired into mods like that. Most people play it for fun. Like, that is the motivating factor, obviously. So once this happens to you once, where the transactions don't go through and you play a completely different team than what you thought you were going to get, you end up forming a habit where you start looking at transactions. That is how I've been wired now. And when something like this happens where you misinterpret the rules, I hope this is a learning experience. I very, very much hope that this is a learning experience for people. You should always read rules. You should always 100% read rules. Moves on forms, on mons, on the fucking cut moves and hidden power and terrestrialization. You always need to be reading those rules because you have no idea how different leagues can be. This is not a sacrifice league. I'm in 2 leagues that are sacrifice leagues. This league, I have a Stabmon and a Terramon with no point restriction, or with a 50-point restriction and no, oh, it has to be under a certain amount. I'm in another league where you're allowed 3 Terra Captains that can terrestrialize into any type, but they have to be under 15 points and they combine to 25 points. There are so many different variation of rules. You have to always be checking them. So this is just like I know how toxic this all sounds, but I promise this is in good faith, and I promise this is a learning experience. On my side of the end, the only excuse I could really go to is literally my mom's birthday today. I don't know why I said literally like that. It's my mom's birthday. I wanted to be spending time with her, and this was kind of, you know, fucking that up. I didn't realize until I scheduled it, so that's my bad. I should have picked a different time, but I tried getting it done as soon as possible, and yeah, I kind of want to spend time with her, so that's kind of a little bit why I was toxic, but obviously I'm not going to use that as an excuse. This was a bad moment for me for, you know, be better is a crazy statement to say at all, but yeah, it's Mons at the end of the day. It's a lot of fun, and after this we are 3-1 plus 4, which all things considered is not a bad record to be at. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this like episodic 4-week 50 nearly 60-minute video. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it, and I thank you very much because you're a loyal one. And you're probably into Draft League as much as I am. This is my 4th year of competing. I think going on 5th, honestly, because oh my god, yeah, literally my 5th year, I'm pretty sure. Oh my god. No, it's still my 4th. It's still, no, it's still my 4th. It is still my 4th. There's no way it's my 5th. Because I started the end of Gen 7. The very, very end of Gen 7. I think it was, summer. Yeah, there's no way. Not yet. It was like near the end of summer too. There's no way. No way. We're good. It'll be 5 years soon, I think. But not now. I guess they'll say 4. But yeah. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. This video is getting on too long, so I'll leave you guys. Thank you for watching. Yeah. Peace.